Imagine setting up a brand new BPO office branch right here in the Philippines. You wouldn't just, open a door and start taking calls, right? You'd need to assign the right building, allocate enough computer terminals for all the agents, set up secure filing cabinets for sensitive customer records, and, of course, establish really clear rules from headquarters about what information is actually allowed to leave the building. Well, setting up a new Microsoft Security Copilot workspace requires exactly the same kind of foundational planning. This BPO analogy actually maps perfectly to how we configure our cloud environments. The name on the front door of your BPO, that's your workspace name. The processing power of the agent's computers dictates how much work gets done. And in Security Copilot, that's your compute capacity. Those locked filing cabinets sitting in the back office represent your data storage location, keeping records exactly where they belong. And finally, those strict HQ reporting rules, they dictate your data sharing preferences. So in official Microsoft technical terms, what exactly is a Security Copilot workspace? It's the foundational environment that configures capacity, resources, sets your data storage geography, and defines sharing preferences for team-specific operations. And why does this matter so much for cloud and AI security? Because this is literally the absolute foundation where you isolate your operational data and your compute power. Without a properly configured workspace, your security teams simply don't have an environment to operate within. It's that critical. Okay, so to actually get started, there are two specific paths you can take in the portal to trigger the creation workflow. You can either select your current workspace name right up in the portal breadcrumb and choose New Workspace, or if you prefer, you can navigate through Owner Settings, click on Manage Workspaces, and then select New Workspace from there. Regardless of which path you choose, both are going to lead you to the exact same workspace creation workflow. Configure workspace fundamentals. Okay, let's dive right into this. The creation process essentially boils down to 4 core configuration decisions that are really the pillars of your environment. First up is the workspace name. It has to be unique within your tenant, follow standard Azure resource naming conventions, and crucially, it cannot contain any spaces or special characters. Hyphens and underscores are perfectly fine though. From a security operations standpoint, giving it a simple, highly descriptive name like Contoso-SOC-Workspace is incredibly important. It immediately and clearly identifies who owns the workspace and what its purpose is, which absolutely prevents confusion during high-stakes security incidents. Next, we have capacity association. This is what connects your workspace to dedicated security compute units, or SCUs for short. Think back to our BPO analogy. This is where you determine exactly how much computer power your agents have. You can select from available capacity resources in your subscription, but there's a really strict technical rule here. Capacity resources can only be used in one workspace at a time, no sharing simultaneously. So if all your existing SCUs are already allocated somewhere else, you're going to have to create new capacity inline during this setup. The third decision, it's all about geography, and it's actually split into 2 parts. First, you've got your data storage location, which is exactly where your workspace session data sits at rest. Remember those locked filing cabinets? That's this. Your options include specific regions like Australia, Europe, Switzerland, the UK, and the US. Then you have your prompt evaluation location. This is your operational floor. It's where the GPU resources actually process your AI prompts in real time. Now listen up, because if you're preparing for the SC-500 exam, this is a huge concept to anchor in your mind. Your data stores location is strictly immutable after creation. Once you hit create, boom, that data at rest is permanently locked to that geographic region. No going back. However, for the prompt evaluation location, you can actually choose a super helpful setting called Evaluate Anywhere with Available Capacity. This routes your prompts to the least busy data center globally for much faster GPU responsiveness, even while your data at rest stays locked safely in its specific region. The final fundamental piece of the puzzle is your data sharing preferences. This controls whether Microsoft can use your prompts and responses to improve the Copilot service. Think of this just like the strict client confidentiality rules in our BPO. Organizations with rigorous data governance policies will almost always opt out for their production workspaces to maintain complete, absolute data isolation. Conversely, they might choose to opt in for a sandbox or testing environment where there's no real production data at risk. So, bringing the whole shebang together, the actual creation workflow is a really straightforward 6-step process. First, navigate to securitycopilot.microsoft.com. Second, select New Workspace from the breadcrumb. Third, define your name and configure your SCU capacity. Fourth, set your data storage and prompt evaluation locations. Fifth, define your data sharing preference. And finally, step 6, just acknowledge the terms and hit create. Create 3 Contoso workspaces.
To really see how this works in the real world, let's look at a fictional enterprise, Contoso, and how they strategically build out 3 completely distinct workspaces.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these configurations radically shift depending on the team's purpose. Take the SCOC workspace, for example. It needs massive performance, right? So it's provisioned with 10 SCUs. And prompt evaluation is set to evaluate anywhere for maximum speed during a cyber attack. Data sharing is, of course, strictly opted out. Now compare that to the sandbox workspace. It only gets 2 SCUs to save on costs, and data sharing is actually opted in because, well, it's just for safe experimentation. But I want us to really focus on that compliance workspace configuration. Notice how both data storage and prompt evaluation are strictly locked to Europe? Well, let's imagine a Philippine fintech company that manages financial data for European clients. To comply with GDPR and European regulatory standards, they literally cannot allow that client data to leave Europe, not even for a millisecond of GPU processing. By matching both the storage and the evaluation location to the EU, they guarantee strict regulatory compliance. Verify workspace creation. Okay, so once you finalize all your settings and hit Create, Security Copilot takes just a few minutes to provision the capacity and configure all those resources behind the scenes. You're going to know the creation was successful when your brand new workspace pops up in that breadcrumb drop-down menu at the top of the portal. In Microsoft terminology, that breadcrumb reflects your current active context. It isn't just a basic navigation link. When you select a different workspace in that dropdown, you are entirely switching your operational environment, literally moving from one set of data and capacity rules completely into another. To wrap this all up, let's quickly summarize the absolute hard rules you need to remember for managing these environments post-creation. Like we talked about, your data storage location is permanent. If you get it wrong, you're creating a whole new workspace. Your workspace name is also permanent. The only way to alter it is by opening a ticket with Microsoft support. However, your capacity association is completely flexible. You can scale your SCUs up or down, or change the associated capacity entirely at any time, as long as the workspace always has some capacity assigned to it to function. Your capacity can change, but your storage location and workspace names are locked in. With all that in mind, if you were forced to deploy your organization's permanent Security Copilot Foundation today, are you absolutely sure you know where your data belongs?